day and welcome to In the Yard Music and Sound with Sage Reynolds. I'm Sage Reynolds. I'm a composer and musician from Canada. This is a new series that I put together to help me work on my YouTube chops and to talk about the different projects I'm working on. I'm also going to talk about musical concepts, sound design concepts, sampling, anything that comes to mind. Also going to share a different drink with you each video. Today, this is a non-alcoholic beer. Cheers to all of you. Many of you know me as a bassist, double bassist, electric bassist, and multi-instrumentalist, as well as vocalist and composer. But I'm also a songwriter. I'm working on a folk project right now, but also have a project called Life in Winter, which is a bit more indie rock or indie folk music. It's been on hiatus. Not sure what's going to happen with the project, but we recorded an EP a few years back, and I decided I should put out the music. So this summer I was listening to the soundtrack and actually watching the show for Stranger Things, and they featured one of my favorite songs from Kate Bush, Running Up That Hill, from her album Hounds of Love. It has an amazing beat, and it actually inspired me over the years. And I actually used that beat, or one very similar, on one of my tracks called In the City. In the City is the first single on our new EP from Life in Winter, and it's released today on all major streaming platforms and for sale as well. There's a link in the description to check that out. You can also check out Life in Winter's debut album in the link in the description. So please check that out. In the City is the first song. It was written quite a while ago, maybe 2013, 2014. And recorded in 2016 when we recorded this EP. It was recorded at Planet Studios in Montreal by Pierre Gerard, and it was mixed by Pierre as well, and it was mastered by Noah Mintz. I produced the track and did all the arranging and composing for the track. I play acoustic guitar on it, I think there's a bit of my percussion on this one, but mostly acoustic guitar and lead vocals, and a bit of harmony vocals. Sheena Ko sings the other harmony vocals and plays organ. Richard White, one of our guitarists, plays electric bass. Eric Couture-Tamas plays electric guitar, and Liam Killen plays drums. The track is a bit somber, but it deals with life in the city and a certain type of lifestyle. It's something I can't really relate to at this point in my life, but it's still valid, it's still happened. It's still music that is interesting to me, even if that time of my life has changed. So, how did I write this song? So I had that beat in mind, and then I picked up my acoustic guitar, which is this Norman right here. It's a Canadian guitar built in the 70s. It has a really warm tone. I really like it a lot. I like to compose and songwrite on this guitar. And I came up with the chord progression and the vocal melody at the same time. The vocal melody came through with mostly sang melody notes with nonsense syllables. And then I took those nonsense syllables and matched them to words that I liked to create a story. That's how I wrote the lyrics. I write some of my songs like that. I use lots of different techniques for writing lyrics, which I'll talk about in other videos. But that's one of the techniques I use, is to use the sounds that are already present in the music in order to create the lyrics. So that was the melody, that was the lyrics. And the chord progression uses a vehicle that I play on guitar a lot. It's quite simple. It's a root position voicing that I move around the instrument. It has the root, the fifth, and the 10th, as well as resonating open strings. It starts on C sharp minor, and if the B is ringing, it's actually a C sharp minor 7 chord. Then I move the bass note around, move that down to the flat 7, which is the B, which leads us to the flat 6 major. It's right here. And with the B and the E resonating, it's actually an A major 9 chord. Then I do a similar pattern with the bass note there. I'm going to move the bass note between the root and the major 7 of this chord. The second time, that G sharp is going to lead us down to an F sharp minor 7 chord. If we include the resonating E string. And that goes up to a G sharp minor chord, which ends out the chorus. So that's the main loop for the chorus. And as you'll see later on, that's the start of the bridge as well. So the verses are a little bit more simple. It's the flat 3, which is the E, and the root. It's a little bit of an inversion of our 1 chord, but then the sort of the bass note there, the E, is going to move between E and D sharp, as well as the resonating strings. Creates quite a bit of tension because of the open E string and the D sharp, and they're played at the same time. But it simplifies, and it's a breakdown section with mostly acoustic guitar for the verses, and the full bands come back in on the choruses. For the bridge, we actually start with the chorus, chord progression, but then it keeps on walking down all the way to the F sharp minor, and then we get the minor 7, or the flat 7 of the F sharp minor, which is an E, and that E leads us even further down to the flat 6 of F sharp minor, which is D major. So we actually do a modulation at that point into D major, which is not really in the key of C sharp minor. So the song climaxes at that point, and then we go back to our regular chord progression for the outro, ending on the A major 9 chord. So that's that song in a nutshell. If you have any questions, you can leave them down in the comments. We recorded the vocals for this track and the other tracks of the EP at Sky Barn, which is a studio on Jean Talon in Montreal as well. We also reamped the electric bass through a really nice Ampeg amplifier, give it a really nice tone. So as I said, this single is being released today on all major streaming platforms, as well as for sale on Bandcamp, on Apple Music. One of the many sounds we hear around here. It's also the album, the Life in Winter album, you can check out, and I'll put some other links to my web pages and some of my other music, including my SoundCloud, below. If you like this video, you want to support me, please consider subscribing and actually liking the video with the thumbs up down below. And please stay tuned, I'm going to have some other material. I'm actually thinking about doing the next video on a composition project I've been working on lately, which is writing for a string quartet. So please stick around, please come back. Thanks again for tuning in. We're going to see how nature happens around here in my yard as well. We're going to see the change of the seasons, and please come back and hang with me. Cheers.
In the sea where it's so